Well, welcome to The Perspective. I'm Lorie, and can I just say happy summer? I mean, we're finally in July and the sun is shining, and I hope you're just really enjoying maybe a time with family or friends. And today you're going to be inspired. On the show, I'm joined by two inspiring young women who actually are pouring their hearts and a whole lot of coffee into their community. Amy and Payton are Gen Z entrepreneurs and the co-owners of Milk and Honey Coffee Company, a faith-based cafe in the heart of Smithville, Ontario, with a bold vision to create a space that's, well, more than just coffee. They stepped out in courage to build a business rooted in excellence and hospitality and the love of Christ. We're going to hear how this dream came to life and what it's like running a Christian business in today's culture and the beautiful ways they're seeing lives changed one cup at a time. Well, welcome, Amy and Payton, to The Perspective. It's so fun to have you here. Honestly, when I think about what you girls have done already, young women in your age and stage of life, I'm just so proud of you. Thank you. Really, not a lot of us would have enough, courage to step into what you're doing. So let's start from the beginning. How did the vision for Milk and Honey Coffee Co., which, what a great name, how did it come to be and what made you decide to actually go for it? Do you want to go first, Amy?
We started first with Peyton, so maybe I'll let her.
Okay.
Yeah, so it all started about a year and a half ago. I was living in Florida, and I had a very big spiritual turnaround in my life in Florida, and the Lord was really sanctifying me and kind of changing the desires of my heart. And so I had this newfound desire that I wanted to do something more mission-based with my full-time job. And so then the question was, okay, well, what does that look like? And I had a small business back home, and I've always been kind of entrepreneurial. And so I'm thinking, okay, how do I mix something mission-based with my entrepreneurialism? And it was, I believe, a friend of mine then who had the idea, well, what about a Christian coffee shop where you can, host Christian events in the evenings and you can work alongside local charities and just be a space for people to come and be known and loved. And I just loved that idea immediately. And so that was where the seed was kind of planted and started kind of looking around, maybe business planning a little bit in Florida. And then I got really ill in Florida. I had to emergency move home, which my hometown is Calgary, Alberta. So I all of a sudden go back to Calgary, Alberta. That was exactly a year ago. And I found myself living at my parents' house, kind of being like, what am I going to do with my life? Everything just kind of changed on me. But again, I had this kind of seed in my mind of a Christian coffee shop. And so I had a friend who's living in St. Catharines, and she was like, this area, like Niagara region, would be the perfect place to do something like this. And so I was kind of just really in the word and in prayer, trying to see okay, God, what do you want me to do now? And I got some kind of pushes a little bit that, okay, maybe something could work there, and doors were kind of starting to open up a little bit just for moving to St. Catharines. And so I decided, okay, let's just move and let's see if any doors open up once I do that. So this past August, I moved with just one suitcase. I didn't have a job. I knew one person here, didn't have really a place to live. I was paying per day to live above someone's garage. I was like, let's just go and see what happens. And for the first 2 months that I was here, crickets. Nothing was really working out for me. I could not find a place to live, like a long-term place to live. Couldn't find a job, and I'm like, okay, I made a huge mistake. Maybe I move back home. But I found a church here that I really, really connected with and loved. And I thought, okay, let's just see it out a little bit longer. I love this church. Let's just keep going and see if something does end up happening here. Maybe I'll pass it off to Amy now.
That's when Amy steps in.
Honestly, yeah. So I met Peyton at that church. It was just a random Sunday. I think it was maybe your first time there as well as mine. And I happened to bump into her and chat and just say oh, well, welcome to Ontario, nice to meet you. And later that same day, in a totally unrelated conversation, a friend was like, oh, I know a girl looking for a place to live. Do you have a room? And I was like, I do actually. Someone just moved out. Okay, sweet. Tell her to Instagram me. So Peyton reaches out on Instagram and I'm like, did I meet this girl?
You didn't even know it was the same one?
No, I didn't.
Oh my goodness.
So I was not trying to be creepy, but did we meet at church? And we had, and so then she came over and we got to know each other and had a wonderful first meeting, and we were like, yeah, let's live together. It'll be great. And then just like a week later, I already had heard about this spot in Smithville. So I had plans to go and see it. And another friend was coming along and we're just like, let's just go check it out. Why not? It looks like a good spot for a coffee shop.
And you were already thinking about a coffee shop?
Not really.
Oh.
So it's not my dream.
Wow.
I just was open to it. I love coffee shops. And this other friend was like, yeah, let's just check it out. So
Okay.
I said, yeah, I'll go. Why not? I mean, what's the harm? And I overheard Peyton talking to some of our mutual friends saying why she had come down, this story of like, I really want to open a Christian coffee shop. And I kind of jumped in like, that's so interesting. I'm scheduled to go see a place on Friday. Do you want to help?
Okay, just it's a God moment. We just have to stop. Like I go, isn't this the craziest story?
It's not a coincidence. Like God was
Right.
right.
Florida to Calgary, time of waiting,
Yes.
often the way God works,
Yes.
getting us ready,
Indeed.
step of faith, nothing but a suitcase. It's like Mary Poppins, you know, so you're right. And here she is. This is beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
I feel like I'm on the edge of my seat. Okay, at the next. So you go to the coffee shop.
So we've known each other at this point for 2 weeks. She hasn't even had a chance to move in yet. We know we're going to live together, but now we're going to this coffee shop and we really we're like, okay, we have no idea what it's going to look like, what this might be. But like we just prayed, okay, God, if this is for us, like just a strong yes. Like just give us that gut feeling of like, yeah, we can do this. And if it's not, that same gut feeling of absolutely not. And so we went in the first time and we were like, okay, there's potential, but we were like, let's sit on it. So we prayed and like thought and chatted for like a week or two. And we came back and within 15 minutes, we're like, yeah, let's sign the lease.
Wow.
And then before the hour was out, we had gone to the dollar store and bought some gloves and we're tearing up the floor.
Girls, this is so amazing. I mean, there's people watching going, okay, when I was young, I had more courage. But really, this is about faith. God loves faith, you know. And faith is really active. It's stepping out into the unknown where you don't have it all figured out, but you follow that, can we say, gut feeling and that vision that God put on your heart. It's amazing. You've branded this a faith-based business, which is not just a coffee shop, right? Like, what does that practically look like from a day-to-day experience? Like, how do you hope people find Christ in this coffee shop? Because it's really coffee. At the end of the day, you got to serve coffee, right? What does that look like?
So when we first were renovating, I remember there was this evening and I just drove up to the coffee shop after my regular job, and in the middle of the floor, there was this pile of all the scraps we pulled off the wall, all these things that were being demoed and changed over. And I paced around that circle of garbage in this beautiful space where we just found our brick walls. And I just started praying over it with this idea that we want prayer and the love of God to be so soaked into the walls of our building that when you come in, you feel it. And so we started there. It was always, we actually learned a lot about coffee to learn to make good coffee. We didn't start there.
Yeah.
But we started with, we want the love of God to be so strong in this space that you walk in and you think, what is it?
Yeah.
What am I sensing? And then in practical ways, even like we have the opportunity to meet people where they are. And so we've got quite a few regulars who we've had a chance we know their names, we know their orders, we know how their day's going. We've had people who came in after something really hard in their life happened and were willing to tell us about it. And we had the opportunity then to say, can I pray with you for a minute?
That's beautiful.
And so,
Yeah.
I can't say that like there's a list of people who've come to know Jesus or anything. I don't know what's in their hearts, but we've definitely seen the opportunity to love people really, really well.
That's so good. Anything else about that for you, Peyton?
Yeah, so some of the kind of on the practical side too of the things that we've done, some fun things. We had the local Christian school, the elementary schoolers, design our coffee sleeves, and so they put like Bible verses on our little coffee sleeves to send out for our customers. We work with local charities. We donate to local charities, and then our leftover baked goods go to a shelter for women fleeing domestic abuse situations. And we would love to do like faith-based events in the evening. So right now we're working on like an Introducing Jesus Bible study for new believers, because we've just found such a unique opportunity with the coffee shop where people feel comfortable, safe coming in. They're getting to know us, and God has brought us people that are hungry for the gospel and hungry to to learn more about who Jesus is. And so we've just seen that opportunity and we're like, okay, we need to, do Bible studies here, worship nights, all that good stuff.
That's amazing. You know, whatever God calls us to do, it's just about being intentional, right? We're going to come right back. We're going to have more conversation. What an incredible story. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back to The Perspective. What an incredibly inspiring story. Peyton and Amy, I just want to say, hearing from your story already, it it makes me think, gee, what is the next thing God wants me to do? Like at any stage, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is what's so inspiring is you didn't have to have it all figured out. You just stepped into it.
Yes.
I'm sure there's a few challenges along the way. What were maybe some of the challenges, Amy?
Yeah. So we really started like we said, we signed the lease and started tearing things apart. That's as far as the plan went.
Can I just ask this? Like, you're signing a lease, you're young women. Where do you get the finances to back this up?
We funded it ourselves.
You funded it yourselves.
Personal finance.
That is remarkable.
We were really creative in the ways that we were able to kind of save money. Like we thrifted a lot of our furniture. I found our flooring at Habitat for Humanity. And we just put a lot of elbow grease in ourselves along with a handyman. So
Amazing. Amazing. Okay, carry on.
Yeah. So one of the challenges was just what do we need to fill this space? What does a good coffee machine look like?
Right. And they're not cheap.
No, they're not. But the amazing thing was how every time a question came up, we'd panic. And then by the end of the day, it would be solved. And
First we panicked.
first we panic, it'd be solved. And then we pray. And
Yeah.
then we'd see
panic, pray, and then it'd be
solved.
Okay, yeah.
So like there was usually some sort of voice message between us going, what are we going to do? I don't know how to deal with this. This might be like the end of the road kind of thing. And then by the end of the day, God would have provided the right person
Yeah.
or the right resource or just the right options for us. And so I think an amazing thing that came out of that is even though there were some like pretty stressful parts, I think our faith grew a lot. And like we really saw that before we ever opened our doors, we saw God's hand at work in our shop.
That's it. When God's in something, man, you can't
deny it.
Oh, you can't deny it.
No.
I mean, what about you, Peyton? What were some of the challenges?
Yeah, in addition to that, something that was a little bit challenging, but not something that was completely unexpected was just being a Christian business. You know, we did have some comments on social media of people kind of being like maybe a little bit upset that we're opening up a Christian business,
Right.
which again, we knew that coming into this, so we were pretty prepared for that. And so in those moments, we really just wanted to like, okay, let's take a step back. Like, yes, this is hurtful to kind of read this, but
Right.
we really don't take it personally, right?
Yeah.
So we take a step back and we go, okay, why are we actually doing this? We're doing this to serve the Lord and to serve our community.
Yeah.
And that really is just like, okay, that's what kind of gets us through it. And we can just focus on, lean on our faith and know that God is with us in this. And he has helped us thus far and he's going to continue to. So
And we also just realized that for somebody who is reacting hatefully online to the fact that we are openly Christian, there's always a story, right? And so they're not an enemy. They're not someone we need to fear or even to take their comments personally. It was really an opportunity for us to think, how can we respond with grace? Because maybe this is a time when we redeem their perspective
exactly.
of Christians.
Very good.
Right?
I mean, that in itself is a unique challenge. I mean, how many people have, okay, you are Christian starting a business, but you aren't just Christian starting a business. You're starting a Christian
Exactly.
coffee shop.
Yeah.
You are being absolutely out there with your faith and in a world where everyone can comment on it. Your social media platform is excellent. Peyton, I understand this is your expertise. I love following you two. It's hilarious. I mean, you're fun. But that's a whole other dynamic to running a business that you kind of opened yourself up to anybody out there on the interweb to comment. So how do you sort of do your social media? What's your whole approach to it?
Yeah, honestly, we just want to just be ourselves. Like, you know, you can look at how someone's running a coffee shop and be like, okay, we want to do things how they're doing it, but nobody can run this Peyton and Amy's coffee shop better than Peyton and Amy can, right? So we want to be ourselves in it. And yeah, I'm sometimes a little goofy and maybe even a little bit unprofessional on our Instagram, but it's like, hey,
I love it.
I have fun with that, and we just want to show that like we're just having fun out here, and we're also like women of God too, and you can do both of those things.
You know what I've learned in all my life?
Tell us.
Just don't take yourselves too seriously, but really just take seriously who God is.
Totally.
And then you're just free to be yourselves. I'm loving that, and I affirm that, and don't ever change that, okay? How has the community responded to this Smithville? How big is Smithville?
Not large.
Okay, so a small community, all right.
Small town.
Yeah.
Like, how have they responded? Is there any encouraging stories, and what does that look like?
So they really have that small town warmth. And we didn't know that about them until we got to open our doors and like welcome them in, right? But so often, like so frequently, people ask, how's it been? We're so excited that there's a coffee shop here. We really, really needed this. And I would say our experience at Smithville is they're just so kind and so lovely, so warm. We felt welcomed, and yeah, it's been amazing.
That's cool.
And we're just in awe with like the amount of people that have come in and said, Smithville has needed a coffee shop. We're so happy you guys are here. Like, we needed a community space like this. And like, we did some market research before, but not a lot. And so we just owe that all to God leading us directly to Smithville, and now finding out like, wow, this has been so needed here. And as far as like encouraging stories go, there's so many. Like, God has just been moving in this space so beautifully. But something that comes to mind is well, I'm shocked by how many people feel just so comfortable to share deep things with their baristas, right? Because we're kind of removed from their life, but not really.
Yeah.
And so, especially when we're asking those intentional questions of like, how's it going? And they say, oh well, okay. And then you take that extra step of just okay, like how's it really going? And
Yeah.
really kind of trying to dig deeper for those meaningful conversations. Some people have come in and shared some really difficult things that are going on in their lives, and then that gives us the opportunity to offer to pray for them, and that opens up such a beautiful conversation and relationship with them.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just been so wonderful to be able to like have the opportunity to come in contact with so many people of so many different walks of life, and be able to just like build those meaningful relationships.
You know, I love it. You're intentional about next steps. Like, you're not just serving coffee. So is all the staff trained with this mentality?
Absolutely.
You know, intentional conversations, praying for people, sharing the gospel. Like, is there an intentional kind of,
Absolutely.
what does that look like?
So, or did you?
Yeah, so we actually, this is another way that God just worked an incredible miracle for us, because it's actually a lot of work to interview people and like go through the hiring process.
Yes, it
So
is.
when we first opened, we went viral the day before we opened.
What does that going viral mean?
It means you're getting like over 1,000 or 2,000 like
Amazing.
followers.
We gained like 2,000 followers in like 24 hours, 48 hours. Like, it was really crazy.
And so our plan had been that Peyton would just work, you know, a 40-hour work week at the cafe, and then I would do Saturdays. That was the staffing plan. And our first day was so insane with both of us there, because I took a day off of my other job to be there. It was so insane that we were like, we can't have just one person here tomorrow. Like, it's not possible. And so I think within a couple of days, there was this young woman at church who we both really loved, and she mentioned, oh, I'd always wanted to work at a coffee shop. And we were like, do you want to work at ours? Starting in like a day?
Like in 24 hours?
Wow.
And she just came on and was willing to be thrown into the chaos. And that happened a couple of times. We, within a week or two, had, I think, 3 staff. And they were all like just young women of God, and they're open, kind, like asking great questions, able to handle like us learning how to manage everything, right? Because we didn't expect to have 3 staff right away.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so it's a really big part of our hiring and our like training process is like, okay, are you able to have these conversations with like people coming in? Are you able to be kind to the people coming in, be very warm,
Yeah.
and create meaningful relationships with our customers? That is like of the utmost importance.
You know what? This is amazing. And I'm sure there's someone watching going, okay, now I'm going to act. If they can do it, I'm going to step into it too.
Oh, I hope so.
Thank you for telling us your story. How can people follow? What's the Instagram called?
So it's Milk and Honey Coffee Co., but there was a lot of Milk and Honey Coffee Co., so ours has 2 Y's. Oh, wait, okay. Those of you can find them.
Well, you're going to want to find them there. Thank you, girls.